Well, what an action-packed issue we've got here. Makes for the perfect read when you're traveling. I'm headed to Delhi to hop from one flight to another. Well, I've got my traction control off, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, building up some revs. Holy shit! Well, this is the BMW X5M competition. 617 brake horsepower, 750 Newton meters of torque, available from as low as 1800 RPM, and that massive 4.4 liter twin turbocharged V8 brutally powering this through. It's a luxury SUV, but it packs in so much power. Good lord, this is phenomenal. What an absolute hoonigan this SUV is. Well, let me step away from it because my heart's racing way too fast. Alright then, for us enthusiasts, one glance is enough to differentiate it from the standard X5, but for the rest of you, there's a redesigned bumper with bigger vents, the chrome around the grille is now gloss black, and yes, that's a massive grille, but this is a massive SUV, so it all blends in right. The sides are complemented by M wheels, 21 inches for the front and 22 for the rear. There's those pronounced wheel arches, some cosmetic air vents, drill discs with blue M calipers, and that aerodynamic rearview mirror, well, that's what modern art should be termed as. The characterful rear flaunts those quad pipes, the oh so gorgeous yet subtle spoiler on the roof, the X5M competition badging, and a glimpse of those fat tires that tells you this thing means business. While the exterior screams brute performance and deranched character, especially in that shade of bright red and contrasting black bits, the interiors, well, they've been finished in this shade of white. The designers at BMW must have gone, let's make the interiors a bit soothing and welcoming to compensate for the blood-boiling exteriors. Now, I did sample the rear seats and they are adequately comfortable. This specific example gets the optional rear seat entertainment package with screens and an upgraded Bowers & Wilkins diamond surround system. The Panorama Sky Lounge makes the cabin feel nice and airy, and it changes colors too. It all feels extremely plush, but in an X5M competition, all these are the boring bits. What will certainly interest you are these controls over here. The M1 and M2 switches on the steering to preset your driving preferences. Great additions to have. The steering itself is nice and chunky, great to grip. Moving down to the central console, you have an array of switches. There's one even to control the exhaust valves for better soundtrack. Now gone are the individual control buttons. You have a setup button that pulls up the configurator on the infotainment system. You can adjust lots here. And there's even a toggle switch on the gear selector that lets you alter the aggressiveness of the shifts. It's a typical M car with a lot of technical bits shared with the M8. We've driven it recently. Go check out the video by clicking on the link above. I'd also suggest you subscribe to our channel. We've got some amazing content coming your way. Well, it's time to step on that gas pedal once again. Now, whenever you sit in the driver's seat, the first thing that will happen when you press that pedal is this. The BMW X5M competition plasters a wide grin on your face immediately as you set off. Initially, I had tuned the responses to Sport Plus setting, and that felt a bit too aggressive for the road. So what I've done is left everything on the sports setting, and this feels much more usable and makes for a more enjoyable experience. Utterly delicious. The engine, it's got so much grunt and so much thrust. I mean, look at this thing pull away from these turns. Showing a good set of roads, and the BMW X5M is sure one fun car to drive. It's powered by that 4.4 liter V8 engine that is quite free revving as well. It revs all the way up to the 6,500 RPM. The throttle responses, they are sharp, they are aggressive, and complementing that engine is this 8-speed Steptronic transmission. You can alter its aggressiveness by this toggle switch on the gear lever itself and leave it to the maximum aggressiveness, and you will seldom find the need of using these pedal shifters. Now, even on its most comfortable setting, the X5M Competition is set to a firmer side, which means there are some undulations that are passed into the cabin. But having said that, this isn't your regular SUV that would do your airport runs. This is crafted with love. It mixes the versatility of an X with the performance of an M, and for such a setup, it rides really well. What aids the entire driving experience is that adaptive M suspension that electronically adjusts the dampers. The chassis feels taut, showing a good set of roads, and it will drive really good. It rewards you with immense grip and control. For such a large SUV, it almost hides away the bulk, and that is a very generous driving characteristic that it has. That said, the feedback from the car is really brilliant. The car keeps you on the toes. It feels very mechanical. There is good feedback from the steering wheel, from the chassis, from the pedals. Everything feels so mechanical, and it's really strange because this car is equipped with so many electronic aids. And the best bit is you can tame down this beast with a touch of a button. It's this duality that makes the X5M Competition so appealing. BMW claims that the X5M Competition is driven by the single-minded passion of delivering authentic sports car performance with the practicality of everyday use. Yes, you do miss on that plushness and softness of cars that are this expensive, but that's a fair trade-off for all that performance, agility, and the oral delight. In fact, this is one of those rare breeds that can go out and hammer sports cars on the track and also transfer your luggage and your family to the next track while you set some hot laps. I think BMW is right with their claim. Look at it, it's an awesome machine. I absolutely adore it. And well, I've got a few hours left with it, so I'm gonna hop in and take a flight back.